Hello everyone and welcome to Amarcast, the tech news update of 28th May 2020. Now the first news comes from Google. They have indicated of a new um, Google algo update, and this is called Google Page Experience Update. Google has announced that based on page experience, your rankings are going to get impacted, and mostly I think the ranking of top few URLs is going to get impacted, and these top few URLs ranking is going to depend upon the experience of users on those particular pages, and Google has shared various factors for this experience. I mean, first factor is loading, then second is interactivity, third is visual stability, fourth is mobile friendliness, fifth is safer browsing, HTTPS, etc. And the next is no intrusive interstitials and advertising. Plus, one more factor which Google has talked about is that to rank top on mobile, you don't need to be an AMP page, which is generally the case in practical sense. But Google has indicated that that's not no longer required, which I think is a big move, and we look forward to this update. What I'm going to do is create a separate podcast on this particular update so that I can explain it in a little longer time. The next big news is President Trump is going to sign an executive order which could bring about some kind of censorship and legal liability on Facebook, Google, Twitter, and other social media networks. Now, this is reported by Washington Post. Obviously, this is in reaction to Twitter putting fact check label on some of President Trump tweets. Now, this is a huge move, and this can really hurt the independence of Facebook, Twitter, and other social networks. And this will definitely bring about some kind of censorship, which may not be a very good thing. And it will make things complicated for social networks, and anybody putting any update can, virtually, bring about a lot of legal consequences, censorship consequences for that particular social media platform. So, Washington Post has reported this based on some sources. Let's see whether it actually happens. And on the same lines, Facebook CEO in an interview to Fox News has said that the social network should not be the arbiter of truth, which is a little surprising because Facebook has been talking about fake news and how to take out the fake news. If you want to prevent fake, what's fake, then you got to present what is the truth. I hope that makes sense, because the whole point is, if you are not helping truth to emerge, then what's the point of removing the fake news? So I totally kind of disagree with the Mark here, and I feel that probably it is a more pacifying statement towards an angry Trump, so that Trump doesn't take any single executive order which goes against Facebook as well. So that's the way this fiasco is at least going. Coming back to India, the online grocery space is really picking up with JioMart and Amazon getting into this space. Now the next player which may get into this space is Paytm Mall. Now this is a speculative story. This story is reported by Tracker, and Tracker reports that Paytm is in touch with the grocers to build its grocery vertical. Some anonymous sources quoted SoftBank has been leading the conversations. It's a common investor between both companies. So this is not yet confirmed, but this is what has been reported, and this might be true. And this is an exciting space to be. Next big news is coming from Baba Ramdev's Patanjali Ayurveda. Now, it's not a technology news, but since they are bringing their own e-commerce platform, I thought I'll just report this, that they have taken out some non-convertible debentures with a coupon rate of 10.10%, and I think they are already oversubscribed. Though, so they have raised 250 crores. Although they've said that they've raised it for the increasing supply chain, etc. But one wonders whether this money is raised for the online venture which they are planning. Uh, Next news which is there is Google is said to be exploring to take a minority stake in Vodafone. Now, this has been actually reported in Financial Times, and then a lot of people have picked it up. Both Google and Vodafone have said no, and this is with the background of the development of Facebook putting money in Geo, and both parties, Google and Vodafone, have said no to this development. Still, it is quite a big speculation, and it's all over in the news. Next news comes from the COVID layoffs. So, Book My Show is laying off or putting people on furlough, around 270 employees. Now, in total, they have around 1400 employees, 1450 employees, and this is approximately 18% of their workforce, and they are letting them go or putting on furlough. This is all across the world, including Indonesia and Sri Lanka. Now, obviously, cinema halls and malls and stadiums and theaters are not going to be operational very soon. Therefore, Book My Show would obviously have the problem of cost, and I think this is what they found as a cost cutting measure. The last news today is TikTok app ratings, which we've been discussing over last week and this week, have moved back to 4.4 stars. So the speculation that Google has removed a lot of negative ratings is actually correct. So Google have removed these negative ratings and moved it back to 4.4 stars. Obviously, it's a good move by Google because some of these negative campaigns attacking ratings is not a good idea, especially, with the hashtags like Indians against TikTok and all those other kind of things, wherein a negative campaign is against an app, which has nothing to do with the usefulness of app, and it is more to do with the, some creators on one app versus the other. So TikTok is back to its 4.4 star rating. My apologies today that my voice is not clear because I'm having a little bit of cold. So I'll see you tomorrow on 29th May 2020. Thank you very much for joining.